GM people. How are we doing
today? Hey. What's up, Twitter?
What's up, guys?
Oh, wait, we cannot call it Twitter anymore, right? Or is the joke old by now?
I wonder at what point we're all going to capitulate to X. So far, this was a poor rebrand, in my opinion. I think everyone I know writes X/Twitter to this very day.
I mean, see, I like the X name. Like, X sounds cool, but like rebranding any massive brand like that is just difficult, man. So many people using it.
Yeah, facts, and he paid a handsome dollar for it too. So, who's behind the BetRoyale account?
Hey, guys. David speaking here. I'm the CTO of BetRoyale, creating the platform and coming to you today from the streets of Milan. Quite literally walking around in the streets of Milan, just landed here. And now we got the space going, just rambling on about what's going on in GambleFi. And it's quite an exciting space, to be honest. Like, probably maybe one of the sort of lesser known spaces within Web3, within Web3, like DeFi and memes and all of that shit is very trending. And like, I feel like GambleFi is sort of coming up just with there, right? Just becoming bigger and bigger. And I'm very excited to hear what everyone has to say today about that, and we'll be very excited to share our perspective with the audience as well.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely something that has had its moments, right, and will continue to have its moments, especially this year. And so it's great to be here with a stacked panel. I'm kind of like stepping in to co-host as a friend today. There was a little conflict with someone else from the BetRoyale team, so I just kind of jumped.
Yeah, exactly. We had a little dropout on who to co-host with. Right, people were busy. Meetings were being scheduled. Meetings were being overlapped. So who do we have here, Fred? Can you give us a little introduction? I don't know if your internet dropped out or if my internet dropped out, but it would be lovely to hear from you. Who do you represent and what do you represent?
Yeah, I'm Fred. Complete Spaces Maxi. I've been doing this for 2 years. I work with ex-co-host, help people to get amazing spaces going in an organic way. And personally, on the Web3 side, I'm super passionate about Solana, meme coins, and gambling. So this is a natural fit for me to be here. Let's pass it to the next person. Let's pass it to Robin as we have more people connecting.
Hey, Fred. Hey, BetRoyale. It's Robin here. I run a Web3 marketing agency, so we help projects with traction in the space, social community growth. We have a very vibrant community ourselves. I see one of our community members, Wopet, is listening in. We have 2 co-founders, basically myself and another one we've been poker players back in the day. So, GambleFi really is something that we love to look into. Myself, I've worked in the iGaming industry or gambling industry for 8 years in various marketing roles, mostly poker, but that also included casino. And I'm excited to see what you guys are building, really, and to talk about gaming and GambleFi.
Yeah, exactly. And wait, I have to step in there for a second because Robin, I was surprised to see your face up here, like positively surprised, because we actually met last summer in Berlin, Web3 Berlin. We were on the cruise ship together, talking about at the time still AI chatbots and your marketing agency and stuff. So.
Oh, really, David?
Yeah, bro. So
I think I remember you. I was looking for you on Telegram, I think, but I couldn't find you. You were the AI chatbot. Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I was surprised. I saw your face. I'm like, wait, no, is that Robin? Fuck. That is funny. Small world. Web3 is a small world, man. That is really interesting.
Well,
anyway.
You have 2 guys in Web3. Well, actually 3 guys. You've got Robin, you've got Fred, and you've got David. We run all the accounts.
Right.
Cool, guys. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Nice to run into you here as well now. Let's pass it on to the next host. Who else do we have here in the space? Bloomverse. How about you introduce yourself next? You're up in my list as the next person.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm happy to be up here. Thanks for having me. This is Bloom1 behind the Bloomverse account. I'm the founder of the project and CEO. Been at this for about 2 years, building the prototype now. It's real money gaming combined with marketing and like in-game advertisement through mini games. So yeah, excited to learn from you guys and listen to everything that you guys are doing. I mean, I don't know if I would call. I've been a gamer all my life and a poker player most of my life. So I don't know if I would call real money gaming gambling per se, but it's definitely a hybrid, a fun hybrid that's emerging that we're trying to push. So definitely interested in hearing what you guys are doing and what people are doing, and how to make the ecosystem more fun in general.
Yeah, exactly. That's very nice to hear. Lots of poker going on so far here and here. That's good to hear. Thanks for the introduction, Bloomverse. What do we have next? OBS World. How about you give us a quick word?
GM. I want to check the energy because, guys, I want to see more reactions. I want to see comments.
Fuck yes.
All of that. Hell yeah. We are in this space with some legends. Today. How is everybody so calm? First of all, shout out BetRoyale. We're super excited to be speaking on today's space. I think we have to dive into some crazy topics because OBS World is all about letting people with a passion for cars get closer to that dream. And a big part of that is winning your dream car. So we'll have to talk about that. Fred, shout out to you. Love. Mindless. And Slingshot DAO I see as well in here. I see a bunch of crazy names, guys. And for those new here, let's meet, let's connect, let's drive that engagement, drop a follow, and that's it. But over and out.
Wait. I have to winning your dream car, you said over there. What's up with that?
Winning your dream car. Imagine spending like 5 USDT in a skilled price competition, answering correctly, and potentially winning like a supercar. How sick would that be? Well, I'm literally making that a reality for you guys over here at OBS World. So, but I think that's something that we need to connect on, really. Like,
Fuck, that does sound crazy. Just like, give me, my curiosity to speak now. Give me like a 10-second introduction. You said you gamble, like you bet $5, but then you also have to answer a question. How does that work?
Exactly, man. Exactly. So, welcome to. First of all, guys, if you do not mind, am I allowed to pin like a tweet? Because, brother, some people they nearly kill me for that.
I'm flexible today. Today I'm in a good mood. So go ahead.
You're in a good mood, and I think that I can already think from where you are. So I think that next time when we will meet, we'll have a very chill time. But jokes aside, let me pin a tweet which is about our airdrop. Basically, a little bit more about our ecosystem. Uh, in seriousness, we're basically a company that started 20 years ago as a group of people who just had an insane passion for cars, started investing in that, started hosting rallies, track days, and all of those crazy shenanigans. And COVID came, we got really into esports, blah, blah. A lot of people know this story by now. I know that Mindless is scratching his head like, please shut up. But yeah, basically now we are building for 2 years the metaverse application that's live on Android and iOS, and our TGE is coming in like a month and a half. And the big part of that, is skill to earn. Our ecosystem basically means that, you need to prove it's not play to earn, it's skill to earn, right? So like if you watch any sports game, football, basketball, racing, the team with the highest score or the fastest to finish the line obviously is the more skilled team or person. So we adapt that model in everything that we do, as well as in these kind of opportunities for people to win their dream car. What does that mean? They can basically put a couple of their OBSW tokens in front. They answer a question such as how much horsepower does this Porsche or this Lamborghini or Ferrari has, when was it maybe first built or whatever. They submit their answer, and then there is a raffle going on, and out of those correct answers, one person might actually win their car, and literally has to pick it up or take a cash alternative. So that's how it works in a nutshell.
That sounds fucking fun, bro. That sounds a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll talk a lot about that later then. Let's continue for now. Let's pass it on to the next person. Slingshot DAO. Tell me about yourself. Give me a quick introduction.
Yeah, hey, I'm here speaking on behalf of Slingshot DAO. I've been here in this space for a couple of years, mostly focused on Web3 gaming. And what Slingshot DAO is, it's basically Web3 ideation and IP creation incubator where community can post their ideas on monthly leaderboards. Then other community members who log their tokens vote on the ideas, and then winning ideas receive some portion of winnings, or kind of other builders can bid on that idea to kind of bring it to reality. So that's kind of the gist of it. Quick summary here.
Damn, nice. Yeah, that sounds epic. I'm gonna quickly move on to the next speakers now because we've been moving slow so far, and I wanna get through this so we can actually start rambling, right? So, blue collar crypto. What's up with you?
GM, everyone. Thanks for having us on the space. My name is Travis, or Blue Collar Crypto, and I'm with Vaynar. We are an L1 blockchain. We're currently in testnet. We're in our 5th week of testnet. It's going really well. We've had about 400,000 participants so far in our Galaxy campaign with testnet, which has been awesome to see. And we'll be going mainnet live this month. Focus a lot on gaming and entertainment, but not limited to just that. So definitely excited to dive into this conversation.
Yeah, that sounds sick, man. Congrats on the 5 weeks in testnet. Now that must be pretty cool going 5 weeks in there so far.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, definitely. Let's pass it on to Mindless. Mindless BTC. What's up with you?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for letting me up here. It's great to see some of my friends up here. There's a few new faces, so I hope to connect with you guys soon. I've bounced around the crypto space as a long-term career for over 7 years now, worked in a ton of protocols and layer one ecosystems and exchanges and everything else in between. I'm currently with Star Protocol. We're looking to solve the interoperability problem of NFTs in Web3 gaming. And we look to do that in a very seamless way with very, very little integration for games and studios, and hopefully at zero cost. So if you're a game or some sort of gaming ecosystem, give me a shout. Let's see if we can do something.
Nice. Yeah, that's a sweet and short intro. I like it. Let's quickly move on. How do I even pronounce this? Nexonic? I'm sorry if I absolutely butchered that.
Oh, no problem. I already spoke on behalf of Slingshot DAO, so you can skip me.
All right. Let's move on to Remy then. Maroon Remy.
Hello everyone. My name is Rami. I'm the marketing lead of XP.NETWORK. XP.NETWORK is an NFT bridge. We support 30 blockchain today, and thank you for having us.
Nice, that's good to hear. Did we have all the speakers? I think we had all the speakers now. What about Fred? Do you have some quick thoughts after all these nice introductions that we have here? Just curious, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be the dumbest in the room and ask the silly questions because no one else dares to. So I'm gladly taking up that role today. Yeah, why don't we kick into a gear about a certain GambleFi topic? I mean, personally, what I'm always interested in is the people that are really deep in this niche. What is their take on whether just classic crypto projects and classic brands? How much do you recommend them to implement gamble elements in order to drive further user engagement? That's something personally that I think is coming up more and more, especially when we look at onboarding. And maybe we can pass this one around as a question. Hopefully there's not going to be too many volunteers about this at the same time, but I see OBS World clapping the hell out of it. So I'm going to pass it to you, my friend.
No, I think that's first of all, great question to kick off things for today's discussion. I think obviously, as with a lot of the conversations that I'm having recently, it's all a little bit about, I think, a change in buyer or user perception, as well as kind of ethics, because obviously these kind of GambleFi things, they work great, right? Especially if you do them and wrap them in a nice campaign, import quite some KOLs that will push everything, and brands know that, right? I mean, at the other hand, we have users and younger generation who is just more and more focused about instant gratification. So I mean, even the intro that I gave, how nice does it sound? How attractive does it sound to basically be able to, tell you, oh, spend 5 USDT and you might be running, driving off next week in, brand new Ferrari. Like, those things they catch, and I think that's a thing which we'll definitely see more of.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a very good point. And just to first answer the question directly, and then give a slightly more intro into BetRoyale itself, because I think I skimmed past that one a little bit. Is that I think gamification in general is just very important. Just you need to capture the like Gary Vee always used to say, right? Capture the attention. Like attention is the currency. And people are so ADHD. Like if you don't capture attention, like if you don't get the dopamine up, then attention is gone. So adding some elements of gamification in there, whether it be like some gambling, wagering things where you wager your in-game points that you've earned or something, I think it definitely adds some value there. And I mean, that's what we are full on betting on, no pun intended, by creating a Web3 casino, right? So, are there any other thoughts specifically on this question? Otherwise, I'll kick into like a short intro of BetRoyale itself.
Everyone's just eager to find out more about Battle Royale.
Yeah. Tell us more about BetRoyale. Yeah, like I think we all agree on gamification is kind of a thing that works on everything, right? Whether it's traditional,
exactly.
Yeah, like even in in poker, which is kind of a game in itself. When I worked in that industry, we were just adding gamification levels on top of gamification levels. So even in, it almost felt like there was never enough kind of gamification. And I think it all has to do with what you just said there, David. The attention span is very short. People want to be like engaged. There's so much like distraction, right? So, you can do, you're fighting for attention and how do you grab that attention? Well, very often it is with, hey, let's play a game, so great. Let's get into BetRoyale. What's up with BetRoyale?
Yeah, no, exactly. Good point there. So I think BetRoyale is an interesting one or an interesting angle, specifically from the Web3 side, because originally BetRoyale has been like a Web2 casino. BetRoyale started about a year ago as a casino operator, just like your traditional gambling operator, basically. But ever since then, like the guys were thinking like, hey, this Web3 thing is pretty fucking cool, and we should probably integrate something with that. And like Web3 gaming, iGaming is sort of coming up as well. Like how can we put our spin on that? Because one thing that you see is a lot of people don't really trust casinos. It's always like, oh, the house is winning, or the house is always making the most money, right? But the classic answer to that is being like, we need a full decentralized casino, right? I'm sorry, there's an ambulance behind me if that's causing too much background noise. But the classic answer is always, we need a fully decentralized casino, fully on chain. Like all the all the games need to be in smart contracts. Everything needs to be transparent, and that's the way you see things go nowadays with some casinos. And yeah, that is cool to a sense. But that's exactly the opposite of what we are doing with BetRoyale, because they are completely unregulated. So they are going the complete opposite direction of existing casinos, where existing casinos are very heavily regulated. They are going like, fuck all of that. We don't need a license. We're going to throw up some smart contracts. We're going to throw up like a pretty website. And that's our casino, right? But the traditional gambling industry is very, very heavily regulated. Like you need a license for every single country that you gamble in, basically. And we are like, hey, we want to combine those two. We want to be fully licensed. We want to be fully legal, basically, in that sense. But we do want to cater to the Web3 side and the transparency side. So the unique point of view that we take there is we take a Web 2.5 sense, quote unquote, where we are fully regulated, we are fully legal, but we are also going to be putting data on chain, providing the transparency, providing everything that the user needs there. That's just like the basic, right? And then on top of that, we're taking a lot of other concepts from traditional gambling or like casinos, where in a casino you can roll up, you throw down your Rolex on the table, you're like, motherfucker, I want to bet this Rolex. And if I lose it, like, I don't care, right? Online gaming, very difficult now, like, to do that. So what we're going to be doing is creating like an collateralized asset marketplace, basically, where you can just send in your Rolex to us. You ship it to us. The second you hand it off at UPS, you will get your casino money, your gambling money, basically. You can immediately start gambling, and if you win, you get your Rolex back. If you lose, it goes into a marketplace where all our other customers can buy it, basically. So this creates a very interesting ecosystem as well, right? Where you have this, where people can use tokens to buy real-world assets and get more rewards. So there are a couple of sort of interesting spins that we're taking on there. But I feel like I'm rambling on for too long already now. So let's hear from some other people as well. I'm curious to hear about like what other people think about the current Web3 iGaming space specifically. Like, what do you think of the current status, or like, do you know anything about it? Because we have a lot of different people in here.
Web3 gaming in general, you said?
Well, Web3 iGaming specifically. I'm curious about like Web3 gambling. So, is there anything you know about that, or do you have opinions on the current iGaming state?
Well, what we're doing, it's kind of a combination. It's kind of what I've been seeing. I've seen a lot of trends when it comes to the DJ and coin flip type of games. Those are the most popular right now, at least in Solana. If you see what games are driving most of the traffic in Solana, there's a lot of really cool games on the ecosystem, right? When it comes to graphics and missions, and they're already on beta. But ironically, the games that you see driving most of the traffic are just like one page, and you wager some Solana or you bet some Solana, and it's like a slot machine, a little bit of a gamified slot machine. And I don't know if I would use the word gamified, because it looks, there's a lot of graphics, but when you go into the gamification, like the core drivers of, scarcity or having second chances, or I don't see a lot of those. Maybe the winning state is very celebrated, right? If you do win, there's sounds and, there's graphics, but that's pretty much it. And the games that are like that, and it's pretty much just gambling, are the ones that are driving most of the traffic. So there's definitely a lot of interest in Web3 for this gambling element. And you see the behavior of it also through meme coins and stuff. Like people, they're not precisely like a casino, but at the end of the day, people are buying coins that they don't know what the coin is going to do, and they know that there's a slight chance that the coin is going to go very high, and they don't exactly understand why, because it doesn't have to do with trade analysis of looking at charts or anything like that. It just has to do with pretty much luck combined with a meme, combined with like community and laughter and memes on the timeline and feeling that you're socially connected. So that's just another form of gambling. So there's definitely a very big overlap between gambling and Web3 gamers. So that's kind of why we're combining it. I don't know if I would call real money gaming, which is what we're doing, gambling, because it's skill based, but it's a pool. You generate a pool, right? Or it's a pool builder, kind of like a poker tournament. Every time that you're going to join a match, if you want to play a 0.5 soul match, everyone's coming in with that. Or if you want to play a 10 soul match, or if you want to play, for 4,000 USDC per person, that depends on your risk tolerance and the type of friends that you're playing with, and the type of acquisition power or financial status that you have. So whatever is appropriate for your risk tolerance to have fun, but you definitely have that extra dopamine effect that there's high risk, high reward. So you can be playing all these matches. That's kind of what we're trying to combine, because when you're playing in games just to farm a token as you're playing, as the previous models have done, I think that gambling element is not really felt in there in the same way as if you're choosing how much to risk and you're having fun risking it, and then you have the chance of enjoying your victory and racking up your chips like in a poker tournament. That's kind of the trends that I'm seeing in the combinations that we're trying to push.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for that elaborate answer. I love it. So one point there that you mentioned that's pretty interesting, actually, I think, is that a lot of the Web3 industry or like Web3 community, Web3 people are pretty DJ to begin with, right? Like gambling, all these memes, like crypto in general is pretty risky already. Just betting all your money or whatever money on like crypto and especially meme tokens and all of that shit. So combining that with gambling sort of feels like a perfect fit, right? Where it's just stacking on top of each other. I do know that Mindless had his hand up before we sort of skimmed over him a little bit, but Mindless, did you still have any thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, thanks. So I'm a little gray on the area specifically related to like gambling and betting, but I mean, I do remember a long time back, 2014, 2015, there was a really big move from places like Satoshi Bet, Satoshi Dice, and some of the early betting platforms that were using crypto essentially to facilitate, and it would be BTC, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. I was just thinking about that, trying to draw parallels to how much that industry has changed within the Web3 space to today, where you have the likes of, Rollbit doing some incredible things out there with such a wide coverage of the space, doing games and tennis and sports and basketball and anything your most popular celebrity says or political outcomes. So that ecosystem in itself has evolved so much, and I think there is an angle to say that you can skirt some of the regulations that exist within the typical gambling and betting industry by using some of the Web3 enabled elements here. But I can't quite put my finger on exactly what those are. I'm sure one of our guests on stage would be able to point that out, like where that gap is that we can use this technology to sort of step around the regulations. I think it's probably going to be on-chain stuff. So the moment something is completely gamified on-chain, you're no longer dependent on the house to be fair and open and transparent. So I'm erring towards that side. I know I had a friend who's often around in the space. He does late night spaces in the US time zones, and he had sort of put together a very interesting gamified platform. It's not gambling per se. It was more of a raffle ecosystem where everything was completely on chain. So once the game begins, it's out of everybody's control, and you either play the game as it is or you're disqualified. And at the end, the funds are allocated to the winner, and there's no force on earth that can stop it, because every Ethereum block that's mined, it progresses to the next stage. And that kind of got me thinking that, okay, maybe we're entering a phase where even the gambling betting industry here is looking to go on chain completely. I'm not sure. It just seems much more fairer and transparent when you do use these technologies and their strengths to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, transparency is a very big topic within the gambling industry, and especially with the Web3 gambling industry, right? And especially when it comes to regulations, like what's possible, what's not possible, and like where are the lines and what are people doing anyway. But I think that this is a perfect opportunity to introduce our latest speaker, the person that just joined up us on the stage, Vincent, the CEO of BetRoyale. I know you had a meeting before. Thank you for joining in. Do you want to take the stage here? Give a quick introduction and then... Yeah, give us a quick introduction.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So, yeah, nice to meet you guys. I'm Vincent. I'm the owner and founder of BetRoyale. I'm just driving back home from Switzerland, so I just joined now. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, before I joined gambling, I was actually in finance, so it's a pretty wild jump. To be fair, the parties are the same in finance and in gambling. It's a crazy industry, but it's a big jump mentality-wise. But we founded BetRoyale over a year ago. We're one of the fastest growing Web2 brands last year, with an average growth of 1,000 people every month. Established ourselves really well in Web2, I would say. But, in the end, I believe that... Oh, sorry, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, definitely we can still.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Sorry, Germany is not well known for its internet connection on the Autobahn. But basically, we wanted to be one of the first Web2 casinos which fully bridges into Web3. And we call it Web 2.5 because, as one of the speakers already mentioned here on stage, big troubles are, or not big troubles, but there's a education gap in what regulators know about crypto and how they see it, and how we as Web3 community could actually utilize could actually utilize crypto to enhance player experience. Like it was said, having everything on chain, it doesn't require any more shady licenses from offshore markets, to be fair to the player. It actually is just on chain and everyone can look it up. But the big problem we noticed when bridging this gap was that I don't think there's a lot of people in the actual regulator industry, where actually guys like us need to sit, which we are not sitting currently because we're in this Twitter space and we are a little bit farther ahead than the regulators are. But regulators, they can't see how it can be enhanced, because what we hear a lot is, you can't put that on chain. We need to have access to it 24/7. And we tell them, but we can put it on chain and give you access to our central servers. And they're like, no, we need this, we need this, we need this. So I think it's just to be honest, guys, I think it's just a dick measuring contest. They just want to show that they have the control over crypto. And I mean, crypto's really well known for being somewhat ungovernable, So it's a clash of two worlds, I would say. So we as a Web 2 established brand try to bridge into Web 3 because, like it was being said, companies like Rollbit also stake. They showed that a full crypto casino and crypto infrastructure for a casino works and makes a fuck ton of money, and is actually somewhat fair to the players. But I believe that Web 2 brands need to bridge, and I think a big trend in GambleFi and gaming this year is going to be old school brands trying to bridge into a new space, and actually forcing regulators to have a new look on the outlook of how crypto regulations and crypto gambling should work, because I believe putting things on chain is the easiest, as well as for us operators, because we don't need to keep track of thousands of player accounts anymore, because everything is on chain. Everyone can look it up. It's less responsibility, and more transparency for players, which are two really important things in this business. But so I think, we all should push together there, push the front together. The Web 3 guys should help the Web 2 guys integrate into the world, into this new crazy, how David said it, into this degen space. Because that's one thing I'm still curious about, is how people, how there's some token raises where someone just posts a Solana address on Twitter or on X, and there's just $10 million flowing into that address because some guys just put 1 SOL or 2 SOL or 3 SOL into that address. It's a concept for me which is really hard to grasp, to be honest with you guys, because I believe from my finance background in doing research, doing my due diligence, but just sending SOL to an address is enough due diligence for some people. So it's a crazy world, and I think we guys should all bridge that together.
Sending SOL to an address is just a gamble, isn't it? Without a maximum bet. It's just
mate, that's even more degenerate, because at least on a slot you can look at the volatility, you can look at the return to player. You have some metrics you can go by to, at least, most people don't do that, but that's just literally degenerate.
Yeah, so some profile picture NFT on Twitter is just creating a post, send your SOL to this address. If he would be a casino, it's basically a guy saying, give me your money, and then goes away for a few days, comes back with a shitty slot machine and says, okay, here's 5 free spins.
To be honest, guys, like I said, I'm a Web 2, I'm a classical business guy, but I believe in the power of crypto and I believe in the, in the vision that this space envisions for the whole world. But it's just crazy sometimes, mate, like you said. Just by the way, if you want, guys, I'm putting my SOL address in here too. So just feel free. You don't get anything back. I'm just letting you know. So I'm at least more transparent than other meme coins.
Vinny, one thing you said, like, we should be on the table with the regulator from like a Web3 gambling side. Are there conversations? Do I understand correctly? There are already conversations around that, or is it really two separate worlds?
To be honest, mate, we are in talks with them, so I'm pushing them a lot. I'm like a little bus flyer flying around their big mound of shit. But it's hard to get them to listen. It's old guys, who don't understand how this whole crypto thing works. For them, it's a lot of money laundering. You know, what we always get accused of if we say we want to do that, they're like, yeah, but you want to launder money. And I'm like, but how do I want to launder money if I'm putting everything transparent on chain? And they're like, we don't know yet, we find out. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess you do you guys, you know? So, and that's why I'm saying, I think we as a space, we need to push into the regulators' direction. And, you know, we need to tell them, look, there are options to make it easier for them as well and to make it fair for the transparency. But I believe it's a lot because most licenses are from Curacao, Anjouan, Philippines, you know, and these countries, they are dependent on like these centralized infrastructures to make money because that's a big part of their revenue stream. Curacao, it's the biggest part of their revenue stream, the same for Anjouan. So it's, you know, it's a double-edged sword, you know. One side is they want to make money on their centralized license and we are like, no, we don't need that. But on the other hand, they need to look at it at one point and make it legal because crypto is the biggest growing industry in gambling.
Yeah, and also I would say the Web2 companies, the Web2 gambling or betting companies that are kind of a little bit scary for Web3 because it's a competitor in some way. You know, when they're sitting around the table with the regulators, they're obviously, you know, bad-mouthing crypto. Like, yeah, you know, can we get rid of these guys because, you know, we have all these regulations and they don't, kind of.
Yeah, but I think it's a funny coincidence that these people make a lot of money in crypto. Still, everyone offers crypto, almost everyone, you know, because it's just an easy way to pay in, and also it requires less KYC by regulated casinos than, for example, someone does a credit card. Because I know a time when gambling was really well known for credit card scams. So, I mean, we as a Web2 infrastructure, we know how that works. If someone wants to pay in or pay out with a credit card, we have a big due diligence process, as we don't want people, you know, to get a stolen credit card, pay in our casino and pay out over a different method. So, like I said, it's funny that regulators think about it that way, as legit credit cards and bank accounts have been used more for money laundering in this space than crypto ever has.
Well, I think that, I mean, all of this is true. What you guys are saying, I agree. I'm not in the, I wouldn't say that Bloomberg is into the gambling aspect of games to the point of needing any like a gambling license because it's all skill based. But I do have some experience, for example, in the poker club industry from back in the day, and I do have a lot of experience in the vaping industry back in the day. And one thing that I noticed, and one of the reasons why right now we don't want to mess with anything that's straight up gaming. It's good that you guys are, but you know, each of us need to stay focused on what we're doing. But what I learned from those industries is that we tend to start thinking, or I would tend to start thinking, okay, this is between me and the regulators. I just need to show them and convince them that what I'm doing is correctly done and that it's actually good and nothing bad is happening, right? But a little bit later, I started realizing that it's not really just the regulators that I'm up against, but it's, okay, who am I taking market share from, right? Which back then it was the people that were already controlling the poker clubs. And then later on, when I started with the vape companies, it was people that were controlling the tobacco companies and the tobacco distribution. Those guys were the ones that already had a relationship with the regulators. They already had financial interests shared with the regulators, and they already had a market share to protect. So the bigger you want to come out right off the bat, the more pressure you're going to feel from these regulators and from these invisible hands without knowing why, right? Like, I'm doing everything right. Why is this becoming so difficult? So I found that, you know, starting to take smaller market shares where nobody is really noticing, right, and growing little by little, so that when you get to the regulators, you can already show traction in numbers, and it's like, well, we can't really stop this, you know, we can't just squat it like a bug because it's already something. So we need to engage with these people, and I mean, that's how I see like blockchain casinos and decentralized decentralized casinos, maybe it is good to start with these licenses like Curacao and Philippines, etc. Like little by little, getting some presence and then letting some overlap happen, and then coming to the negotiation table with the regulators. Like, look, this is a money that you're gonna miss out on if you don't let us operate, right? But yeah, I mean, it's good to want to do everything correctly from the get-go, but it's also good to be conscious of who you're going up against and what market share, whose market share are you taking, so that you're ready for those pushbacks, you know? I don't know if any of that made sense, but just my 2 cents on listening to you guys.
Yeah, and I think an interesting aspect here as well is that traditionally, at least from what like I see, is crypto guys are very much anti-regulation. They're like, I don't want to fucking deal with any fucking regulators, you know, that none of the shit is for me. I just want to do my thing and be as far away from that as possible. Whereas like the other side of the industry, like the finance and the more traditional, is like fully regulations. They're like, we need regulation for every single fucking thing, right? So we need to bridge the gap as well between communities and between intentions, where crypto guys don't want to do anything with regulations traditionally, and the other guys do. Like, you know, we need to bridge it. There need to be people that are saying like, hey, crypto can be properly regulated as well, with benefits to all parties, with benefits to all sides. And I think that's where BetRoyale also like steps sort of in that sector.
Yeah, to just jump in there quickly. So you're 100% right with what you're telling, but in the end, regulators use these decentralized casinos and these, what we call them, black market casinos, as bad apples, you know, who spoil the whole fruit table. Because in the end, they're saying, look, there are people operating solely on crypto. Only cryptos enables people to open black market casinos in every country in this world. They're not regulated. So, I mean, there's been 1,000 black market crypto casinos, and what I noticed is they actually hurt the cause more than they did it well for crypto, for use case crypto in front of like these old people regulators, to be honest with you guys. Because if you think about it, you know, what they're seeing is in crypto, they're only seeing the bad side of it. They're not in Twitter. They're not on the Twitter spaces listening to people who actually want to think about things. They're just listening to news, you know, and they're listening. Satoshi Bitcoin .gambling has opened another website in Russia and just takes money out of that share and launders it through. For them, it's laundering, and launders that money through thing, because they don't understand how on-chain works. So I believe that the biggest push that guys can do is Web2 companies pushing into the space and actually adopting Web3, not just as a payment solution or as a payment provider, but more also into an actual use case of user accessibility, user friendliness, ease of use for users, extension of a VIP and loyalty program, extension of what traditional casinos already offers. And for example, us at BetRoyale, we thought about it in that kind of sense. No, we didn't think about it in just a payment provider system, because there's CoinsPay, there's so many providers who actually provide you these infrastructures. But for us, we wanted to extend the possibilities that people have in our casino. So for us, it was important that the loyalty program add extra functionalities and extra functions through tokens, or later on NFTs, or whatever way there is, you know. But to get away from regulations, there needs to be a point when we can regulate it fully on-chain, but I think it's going to be at least 10, 15, 20 years before the old people go into retirement and new young people with young ideas get into positions where they can actually decide that is a good idea.
Bloomberg, go ahead. I see you have your hand up.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about regulation right now, but you know, I want to, if I may, mention a fun idea that I was thinking about when I was hearing you guys, because it's a pretty interesting project. What you said about people like using some of their real world assets to get tokens for your game, and you know, whether they win or lose, that determines what happens to that, and then it gets sold on your marketplace, right? So that's going to be, I assume, an important part of your whole loop, right? And what we do in what we do in Bloomberg is that We have our core game where you can wager SPL tokens, like we said, USDC, Solana, with your matches. But we have these lobbies where we have mini games. We integrate brands and service providers and other projects into the core mechanics of the game by building like storefronts in our lobbies, like giant malls, where people can play a mini game of that project, learn a little bit about it, and get some sort of offer, right? Like maybe like a free trial or a 20% coupon or some free tokens. But having a storefront with all the stuff that you guys have for sale on your marketplace, I think would be, when you guys are ready for that, if you ever want to reach out and would like a storefront in a mall, in another game where people can see everything that BetRoyale has for sale, and then from there, funneling them to your ecosystem to buy it or claim it or get an extra reward. It could be like a win-win, some fun ways to do interoperability, and people are going to be winning and losing real money in our ecosystem too. So they might just have the money to buy something that they like from BetRoyale right there and then. So, I just wanted to throw it out there. I don't know in what stage of development you guys are, if you're already receiving these items and selling them. But if you are, or when you're ready, we'd definitely be interested in working with you guys, because it sounds like a really cool store for the lobby. Oh, the Autobahn is really taking over right now, I think. Or was it just me, or did the rest of you guys hear?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was for me as well. Vincent, your internet was breaking up for a second. Let me know once your internet works again. I always have to double check my cell signal. Like, is it me? Am I the one with the bad signal, or?
Like you truthfully said, one of our big USP first infrastructure, which means
Space hit me up.
Yeah, cheers, Ruben. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I know you've spoken quite a bit, and it was quite nice. Go have a good meeting. Let's see. Are there any other thoughts here, Vincent? I know you rejoined now. I invited you back on stage. If there's anything else you want to share with us, your internet dropped out for a bit. Yeah, no, he's just racing down the Autobahn right now, probably going like 220 an hour or something, doing his thing, rambling online in spaces. Anyway, are there any other people here? Because we've had a couple people, discuss a couple things, but I'm just curious if there are other people that want to join in or have some thoughts here as well, just to have more voices heard. OBS World, tell me more about like your car betting project, or how should I call it? Because I think that's pretty interesting and like sort of ties into this. What do you think about like the whole regulatory side? Like, is it something you deal with? And tell me how the car betting exactly works.
Hey guys, most definitely. I think that exact example which I gave earlier is something quite specific. Obviously, each country has regulations as into allowing their citizens to enter into certain competitions. So that is something obviously that you have to look into. Very much similar as you guys were discussing. The actual licenses for gambling, either websites or projects, whether those are Web 2 or Web 3, might be very different. But indeed, in Web 3 space, a lot of questions get asked. When we talk about licensing in general, we have licensing going on for all of the car brands, because what's very different about OBS World is that we are really bridging the real world and the virtual. So it means that it's not like GTA 5. You see a car that looks like an some kind of car that you recognize from the street, maybe an Audi, maybe a Lamborghini, but it turns out not to have that logo. Well, for us, all of them will have, all of the logos, will have, all of the features as in real life. And that is something that indeed is very, very intricate to go through. What's quite nice, though, about the, position that we're in is that a lot of the people who actually, know about OBS World and about our history, especially some of those car brands, they see a lot of value as well, because obviously we have our own NFT marketplace. NFTs can have a range of utilities. Just to name a few, for example, being able to attend the real world race. So for them, seeing the secondary market, seeing that they will be able to, continue making revenue, years from now, and being able to interact with a potential, audience, I think that slowly but surely, as you guys say, we all have our role here, but slowly but surely, people start to notice that, blockchain is the technology. It is open. It's an open ledger. It's a book. It's the next technology to be used. and I think that it's something that we slowly see changing, and I'm very happy that I can say that with the team, with OBS World, we do feel like we are trying to push and make some change of ourselves there.
Yeah, definitely sounds sick, bro. I'm just riffing off the cuff here. Like, imagine it would be amazing if our worlds would collide and you'd be able to like win a full-fledged car in a casino itself. So I don't know how you offer your car, or like specifically the car betting thing, like what platform you use to offer that. But imagine you could also offer it like through a casino marketplace, where we were talking about the collateralized asset marketplace, right? Where if you put down your Rolex, but now if you win, you can also gamble this away on like a Lamborghini or whatever. That'd be pretty epic. Or even like attend real live races and stuff, right? So eventually, like initially we were starting out with, hey, you can send in your assets. Well, we start like the typical ideas like send in your Rolex, but that could even at one point maybe be send in your car, right? Send in your Lamborghini and then gamble that away. Or, you know, double it, win 2 Lamborghinis. But partnering with the OBS World or like projects like that, I think would be really epic as well to expand the offering.
I think that's a lane which we definitely have to explore, and from our side, we're extremely open. Let's chat. Let's chat. Let's have our DMs open. Let's kick off a discussion in Telegram, perhaps with a couple of our team members, perhaps with your founder as well, who's here with us in the space. And yeah, let's chat and discuss how we can get things moving.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Robin, I know you shared some interesting thoughts in the beginning as well. Is there anything you have on your mind for now?
Yeah, I had my phone in a charger, but it was a slow charger, so my phone died, guys. I got myself. But I have a meeting in 2 minutes, so I can't stay long. But it's great to
give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, great to be in the space. I hope you guys are doing more of these, because it's a great topic to speak about, also to find some synergies with other companies. Like one thing I would say is what I noticed from Web3 is like there's a new world going open for anyone that is familiar with traditional iGaming world. Is where, with the on-chain element, organization of things, but then also like with the decentralization of like betting opportunities. I think there's just, it's just widening this, it's just innovating the space really. So looking forward to how this, and thanks for having me on. I will be back next time. Whenever you guys have a space, hit me up.
Yeah, cheers, Ruben. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I know you've spoken quite a bit, and it was quite nice. Go have a good meeting. Let's see. Are there any other thoughts here, Vincent? I know you rejoined now. I invited you back on stage. If there's anything else you want to share with us, your internet dropped out for a bit. But if not, if there are no other thoughts, I think we could like wrap it up as well.
I think now I'm back, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Perfect. No, I'm happy to talk with you guys from OBS and Bloomverse. It sounds really interesting what you guys are doing. Let's definitely connect, open a Telegram group, whatever. Get on a call, see what we can do to bring the space closer to the moon, But in the end, I just want to thank all speakers for joining. That would be my last words. I'm sorry, because Germany is well known for its cars, well known for its Autobahn, but not really well known for its internet connectivity anywhere. I guess we have the worst internet connection rate in all of Europe, So even Romania and Moldova have a better connection rate than we do. So please take my apologies there for not being on a computer. But I think if we all band together, us Web2 guys, who are crazy enough to go into this degenerate Web3 space, and the degenerate Web3 builders and founders, whom I had the pleasure to speaking to today, I think we can create an amazing space together, which will make a lot of people who trust in these amazing founders rich, and where we can get to the top together.
Yeah, definitely. Well said, Vincent. Well said. Go ahead.
No, I just said, yeah, let's do it.
That's
exactly
where
we can put it. So, guys, I would say I'm logging out. Pleasure meeting with you guys. Bloomverse, OBS World, all other speakers, hit me up. Let's talk together. Let's get these discussions rolling, and I see you guys in the next space.
Definitely. Sounds good. Cheers, brothers.
Thanks for having us. See ya.